Hi guys, and welcome to another Daily Choices episode. I'm feeling good this morning. It's sunny outside, feeling rested, went to sleep at like 10 o'clock. I've just finished a whole first week of uni, so I'm feeling motivated to actually try and stay on top of everything, the assessments, the readings. And I think I did pretty good last year, but I want to see if I can get even an extra step ahead this year. So we shall see how that goes. I also don't have a busy weekend, which I'm just so excited to do nothing, maybe plan some bits and bobs for next week. I've just got one lunch with the family today and that's it, so super relaxing, and that will hopefully help me to keep feeling fresh for next week and start of October. This year is going so quickly, but I feel like I've done quite a good job at absorbing it this year, maybe because I wasn't extra busy and managed to have like little weekend breaks here and there. I was able to just take a step back from everything and reflect and absorb a little bit. Today I'm going to talk all about the choices I used to make, the lifestyle I used to have, and how that's transformed in the last 5 years. So I'm 25, so it will be roughly the range from 20 to 25. I think overall a lot of my perspectives align, but I feel like the 20-year-old me that was working and manifesting towards certain things, right now I'm stepping into the things that I was working towards like a couple of years ago, 5 years ago. 5 years is quite a long time, so it's just fun to reflect and see which things have stuck, which things haven't, depending on the lessons that I've had and the needs that I have. I feel like as your path kind of molds, there are just certain things you don't need anymore, so they don't stick as much. I also have some notes that I've written from like 5 to 7 years ago, so I'm going to mention some of them throughout the video and mainly at the end to see if I align with them, if some of them surprise me. But it was written by me, so hopefully there'll be no major surprises. And in terms of lifestyle, I'm going to talk about different areas of it, whether it's routines, whether it's friendships, whether it's confidence related, time management, and any other perspectives that have changed. And we'll just explore these different areas of my lifestyle. So quite a big thing that has changed is that I used to be a morning person and I'm not a morning person anymore. I like the mornings, but I don't wake up anywhere near as early as I used to. And I do feel more productive like towards the afternoon. That's kind of like when my mind is at its sharpest. And I do think that's kind of changed naturally because as I've been doing coaching for the last few years, that was mostly in the evenings. So obviously after working until like 8-9 p.m, I wasn't as keen to wake up in the morning, and my whole body clock has kind of just changed, which is quite surprising to be honest. Like I always thought I would be that morning person, but it's not something that I've given up on. Maybe I'll revisit it at some point when my lifestyle and routines allow me to a bit more. I would just love to be one of those people that you see on social media that just wake up really early, go to the gym before work. But when I wake up in the morning and it's dark outside, everything in my body is just telling me you can go gym later when there is light outside. So maybe that's something I'll push for at some point. But at the moment, I've turned into a night owl of sorts. I try to listen to my body more, kind of just overall resting when I need to rest and not just pushing my body more. 5 years ago, I would push myself even after a long day to like go out or go see my friends. And now I feel more cautious about pushing that energy because maybe I've noticed that I wouldn't be as productive the next day or other factors. And just overall feel more respect towards my body. I'd say I also drink occasionally now, and 5 years ago, I used to drink a lot more. Never felt like I really needed alcohol to have fun anyway. I would mostly just have it because socially it's so normalized. And I think when you're in your early 20s or like late teens, you care a lot more about what is normal and what everyone else is doing. But since I never really needed it to have fun anyway, now it's just more of an occasional thing and feel a lot better the next day as well. I just wake up a lot more fresh. So definitely a lot less sleepless weekends because we're more on a health journey right now instead of craziness, I guess. In terms of not like pushing myself to meet a friend when I'm already tired or go do a gym session, I'm actually really lucky that my close friends are kind of the same. Like I feel like they're intuitive. So even if I tell tell them on the same day that today is just like, I would have liked to see them, but I don't want to push myself. They're so understanding of that because they can be like that as well. So I'm really grateful for that level of flexibility and just having the space to listen to my body. So I think this kind of relates to a quote that I wrote about 4 years ago in 2020. It's okay if you're not feeling crazy productive every day. Sometimes we forget life isn't just about working, but about being in every day consciously, blissfully in presence. Take time for you without feeling guilty about it. I guess that's definitely something I was struggling with. I was kind of telling myself to try and take time for myself more. It's definitely something that has manifested in a way and aligns with me now. Another change is that I used to be way more extroverted. I do still get energy from other people. I don't really feel drained, but I feel more introverted because of how I want to spend my energy. And I guess as you get older, you have more responsibilities, so you have less energy anyway. And I do spend a lot more time with my family and my boyfriend. So that's like another huge factor. Like when you're single, I think it's a lot easier to be extroverted and you want to meet new people. And because I'm really happy with like the circle of friends that I have around me, I'm also not as keen to constantly put energy into meeting new people and going to events all the time, which I'm not sure if it's a good thing. Maybe I should be a little bit more open-minded to meet new people, and not to say that if I come across a new person that I wouldn't be open to make a friend, but it's just not something that I constantly seek out. But yeah, don't know if that's a good thing or not. Another thing that has changed is my confidence, and I wouldn't say that I wasn't confident 5 years ago, but I think it's the kind of confidence that you have when you're younger as well, like naturally with more life experience and understanding yourself a bit more, understanding the path that you're going towards, it naturally gives you more confidence. I feel like when you're finding yourself and exploring more, it's not as easy to be confident in yourself in that way. And if I were to compare the confidence, I think it stems from like clarity and just being a bit more grounded as a person. Whereas about 5 years ago, I felt like I was a little bit more of a shell, trying out different things, seeing what fits with me, and more of that fake it till you make it confidence. And it also had more focus on physical appearance because you care more the way people see you, and that can often reflect in a physical, material way. My confidence definitely came a lot more from that, but now I definitely think it relates to understanding myself more and just feeling more grounded as a person in that time and place, how kind of balanced I am on the inside rather than how I look on the outside as much. And also confidence in terms of the way I see myself, the way I talk to myself, I feel is a lot more respectful. Before, I would definitely have a lot more self-doubt and kind of put myself down with my thoughts, the way I would just like comment on my actions and the way I was. But now I feel I am a lot more aware of that, and not to say that I never talk badly to myself anymore, because obviously that still happens. I feel like I'm a little bit more aware of it and don't fuel that side of myself anymore as much. Another big way that my confidence has changed, I didn't know I could talk about confidence for this long, but I guess there's a lot of different aspects of it. I feel like it's changed through listening more rather than thinking what I'm going to say. And it's a way that has made me feel less pressure, less stress in situations, less anxious, because I feel like I've kind of turned the lens of being interested in what's around me and curious and listening to people and what's happening around me, rather than feeling like all eyes are on me and everyone is expecting me to talk. So that's another way that makes me feel more grounded when I'm just listening more. So again, some notes that I wrote 4 years ago. Learn to feel more grounded and not required to overthink and prepare before every situation. So it's weird because I can almost feel myself, my perspective, the way I was at that time, feeling like I was overthinking more before situations. And again, with these changes and perspectives that I've mentioned, seems to be aligned with what I wanted back then. With clarity, you seek less confidence. Now, when I wrote this 5 years ago, I'm pretty sure I had no idea what that meant. But it's so interesting that my thoughts were already heading in that direction. And yeah, totally, that's the first point that I made about confidence, that I feel more confident with clarity. Another random change is that I used to dance more. Maybe that sounds really sad. I just don't dance as much anymore. I used to dance a lot, getting ready, just, dancing in my room more. And it's not that I don't ever dance at all now, like it's forbidden or something, but maybe I just have fun in other ways now. Maybe it's because I don't have as much of my own space, like living with my boyfriend. Maybe it's something that I need to reconnect to in myself. But I think it also relates to feeling a bit more cautious about the way I use my energy. So not always having like movements and outbursts helps me to maintain a little bit more energy throughout the day. So maybe I just have to explore dancing a little bit more flowy and not putting so much soul into it. In the last 5 years, I also discovered a lot more meditation practices. I was always kind of intuitive and felt that part of myself through nature, but now it's something that's part of my daily life, my daily routines. So it's not as accidental, I guess. I think now it's more of a habit to try and observe more, try and understand myself a bit more, and just noticing how I can try and make days more fulfilling. And I honestly can't imagine myself without those habits now. I think, again, it instills so much clarity, and I think it really helps to make the most out of the day. A quote from 5 years ago that I think links to this nicely is, "Used to always question my admiration for the sun, the sky, etc. For me, it's an everyday reminder to be in love with life again." And I read that, I was like, oh, like, look at me, poet 5 years ago. And it's so true. Like, my friends would literally make jokes about how much time I would spend admiring like a sunset or clouds in the sky. But I think seeing it as a reminder to be a bit more present and be in love with life again, as I said, I think is a great way of seeing it. Time management is also something that has changed. Pretty much just school, anything school related. I was never as interested in, apart from socializing. No, I was curious, but I didn't have the discipline to put as much time into it. And I think that has changed now with a little bit more maturity, I hope. I feel a lot more on top of my assignments, exams, and I just don't leave things to last minute anymore because I just care more. And if you care, it's going to cause a lot more stress if you're not prepared ahead of time. So when it happens very rarely. I'm trying really hard to instill those habits where, I make sure to break down any tasks into little parts and just do it week by week rather than all in 3 days. I also plan my week a lot more than I used to. I had little phases here and there of getting a calendar and planning my week, but now there seems to be more of a structure, more systems in place that make my weekly planning a lot easier. And it's something that I'm enjoying right now. Like on a Sunday, I'll just plan my week ahead roughly. And it feels like when I am on top of these things, it just means that I'm at a more balanced phase of my life. That's kind of what I associate it with. Something else that has changed is I try to make any changes more gradually than telling myself to flip everything upside down and do it in a day. So any kind of changes or habits I want to instill, I feel I'm just a lot more patient with myself and don't expect too much too quickly. I find that it really helps with not giving up before I've even started. Like before, if I had too high of expectations, it would just feel too difficult and unclear how I wanted to get there. So that definitely feels like a big change that has helped me in different areas, and it feels a lot more healthy as well. Those trending videos that were around not long ago where there'd be like a caption like someone said ... or like she said, he said. There would just be like a stop in the video and visuals of doing something completely different as if they're not interested in whatever anyone else is saying, basically no longer concerned with gossip. Like, I wouldn't say my change is that extreme. I think everyone likes it a little bit, and I think it's fine as long as it's not excessive and something that takes up a lot of your mind space. So something I feel that has changed is that I just don't care about it as much anymore. I don't put my attention towards it as much, simply because there are other things that I put my energy to. So it's just something that I don't need anymore and doesn't align with my needs. So to finish off, I'm going to go through a few more quotes from 2020, 2019 and 2017. So one of them is 7 years ago, which is a while ago. So the first one is, how many times am I to lose my motivation just to regain it? Now I feel what I would say to that is, you're going to lose it many times. I feel like now I have other tools to build my motivation, and I don't rely on my emotions as much regarding it. So yeah, I'd say going to lose it many times, and maybe with losing it, I'll finding something new in the process. The next one is feeling really connected to life, good flow, less controlling, more calm and aware, going with flow, saw a white butterfly at bus stop, felt like confirmation. Honestly, when I was going through some of these notes, I was like, I just want to give you a hug. Like, you know, when you just want to give the little you a hug and be like, you know, life can be controlling, you can be controlling, but sounds like that was an upward phase where I was able to find the flow. And I guess something that doesn't really align as much anymore is I used to be quite into signs, and even now it's not something that I'm completely like, you know, signs have no relevance in life. I think there are patterns of sorts, but I feel like I don't believe them as much as before, as if my life depends on it. Like before, it was like looking for a lot of signs and every sign. And this last one, all the way from when I was 17, which is like 7 years ago, I lost myself when I lost the ability to listen. I regained it by listening to the world and people around me, trying to explore everything I had, expressing it through writing poetry and listening to music and showing the world what I saw and discovered. So some aspects of that align now and others don't. Like I've said before, that kind of listening around you is part of clarity and kind of just being aligned with life around you. But I guess now I don't write as much poetry anymore, so that doesn't really align. I write little notes here and there, so I guess that counts as poetry. But I think creativity and the way we express ourselves really changes throughout time. Like use different medias, different forms of expressing. And I do still enjoy writing, just not as frequent. Same with listening to music. I don't listen to as much music anymore. I don't listen to music anymore. I don't dance anymore. Like, what do I do with my life for fun? Oh gosh, these realizations. And another aspect that kind of aligns, it kind of doesn't, is like I was talking about showing the world, and now I feel I don't have the need to express my opinions as much to other people. It might not seem like it talking here, don't know how long video express my opinions, but I feel like I would show and express a lot more of myself, which, you know, sometimes just wasn't necessary. Like some opinions can just be kept to yourself. So that's another thing that's slightly different now. Overall, these notes from the old me seem a lot more aligned than I expected. I thought I would have had like these crazy opposite ideas and perspectives, but I guess when you're learning and growing, you're molding into those perspectives that you want to become. I guess you're not going to be too far away from that. So let me know in what ways your lifestyle has changed in the last few years, if there have been any major changes, or maybe some that you haven't even noticed or already thought about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, me talking about all the little changes and different perspectives that have transformed along the way. Give it a like if you like these sort of videos. If you'd like me to do more, feel free to share any ideas on different topics that you'd like me to chat about, and subscribe to stay updated. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next one.